AutoOne Corporation, the leader in auto parts manufacturing. Hello, and welcome to everyone joining us today as we share information about AutoOne and our commitment to fair and equitable practices. The agenda for today, I would like to share some information with you about our history, present the purpose of our project, talk about the issue we've identified, the method we use to research this issue, and wrap up with our findings and recommended plan of action. AutoOne's history. First, a history of AutoOne. AutoOne was established in 1965 by a husband and wife team, Chuck and Jamie Johnson. Chuck had a love for cars, and his passion turned into a large corporation that is trusted for quality auto parts sold worldwide. They opened their first business in their small hometown of Walton, Arkansas. They now run the business with their 3 children, Chris, Jeremy, and Angela, each of the children operating in one of the 20 locations across the United States. The purpose of our project. An international auto parts manufacturing powerhouse, AutoOne Corporation, which employs over 8,000 individuals, is experiencing a serious accusation of gender discrimination. It was said that AutoOne is discriminating against women employees. AutoOne has taken on a project with a purpose to address the accusation that AutoOne has discriminated based upon gender. Results from this research will be evaluated and shared with corporate stakeholders. As with all things, where improvements and procedures are identified, the company will look to implement them. Chuck has planned a press release within 10 days to address the issue. Specifics of our press release. AutoOne has a proud history of hiring only the best employees. We pride ourselves on treating everyone equally, with dignity and respect. Employees are hired based upon experience and industry knowledge. To address this issue, a corporate project will be initiated to investigate and, where needed, correct the situation. To identify a solution for this issue, we must ask ourselves some questions. How does this problem impact the industry? The answer is that this problem can cause current employees to leave or future ones to turn away from applying for jobs. It can also cause tension between employees and employers, and it may also cause current or future customers to take their business elsewhere. The next question is, why is the issue considered a problem in our business? We believe this issue is a problem because it creates the perception that AutoOne is discriminatory in its employee practices. This could create an environment that may cost AutoOne good employees and future business should our customers or employees choose to go elsewhere. We then asked, why is it important to our specific organization to find a solution to this problem? We believe it is important for us to find a solution to this problem so we do not lose any current employees or the opportunity to hire new employees because they would not apply if they think it is an issue. We also need to ensure the public does not perceive the company as not taking this matter seriously. Next, we need to evaluate what happens if the problem isn't solved. If this problem is not solved, we may lose employees and the company will receive publicity that is damaging to our brand, resulting in a loss of future business. Finally, we must ask, what are the consequences of not addressing the problem? Although our initial investigation has shown that this issue is a matter of perception, it must be addressed to repair relationships with our employees and customers. Research methods and procedures. To ensure that gender discrimination has not occurred at AutoOne, a complete review of legal considerations and literature on the topic was conducted. This review of literature led to the development of a convenient survey that was conducted at AutoOne. The survey allowed for anonymous answers and also the opportunity for scheduled one-on-one surveys with a third party that protected the party's anonymity if requested. In addition to the survey, a needs assessment has been conducted also to ensure all training requirements and materials were up to date and that our training courses offer the latest information about gender-related topics. Analysis and findings, business law. Sex discrimination involves treating someone unfavorably because of that person's sex. The law forbids discrimination when it comes to any aspect of employment, including hiring, firing, pay, job assignments, promotions, layoff, training, fringe benefits, and any other term of or condition of employment. An employment policy or practice that applies to everyone, regardless of sex, can be illegal if it has a negative impact on the employment of people of a certain sex and it is not job-related or necessary to the operation of the business. Under the Employment Protection Act, employers are prohibited from paying unequal wages to men and women who perform jobs that require substantially equal skill, effort, and responsibility, and that are performed under similar working conditions within the same establishment. The law defines these terms as follows. Skill, measured by factors such as the experience, ability, education, and training required to perform the job. The key issue is what skills are required for the job, not what skills the individual employees may have. Effort, the amount of physical or mental exertion needed to perform the job. Responsibility, the degree of accountability required in performing the job. Working conditions encompasses two factors. One, physical surroundings like temperature, fumes, and ventilation, and two, hazards that are experienced by the employees. Analysis and Findings, EEOC. Currently, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has enforcement responsibility for the following federal employment discrimination laws. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, also known as Title VII, which makes it illegal to discriminate against a person based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It is also against the law to discriminate against anyone in the workplace because of their actual or assumed marital status. Marital status refers to whether someone is or is not single, married, divorced, widowed, separated, or with a domestic partner. The term domestic partner covers all couples irrespective of their sex and sexual orientation. Employees are protected from discrimination at all stages of employment, including recruitment, workplace terms and conditions, and dismissal. Analysis and Findings, Collective Bargaining. Unions have a positive impact on wages and earnings in general for their members. For men, the benefit is more closely related early in their careers. For women, the benefits are less notable, if at all. Changes to the labor market, either with or as affected by unions, must include career equalization for women and men. Career development and wage equality for men and women must be included in union negotiations with corporations. In the future of the labor market, these changes are required if gender equality is to be achieved. Employment law, financial impact. High-profile discrimination settlements have cost large corporations hundreds of millions of dollars. The financial effects of discrimination go way beyond cash liabilities. The impact on internal workforce productivity, your ability to retain and recruit staff, and even your perception among customers can all be negatively affected by discriminatory practices. Discriminatory practices affect the job satisfaction of all employees, not just those who are discriminated against. Staff who observe regular discrimination are more likely to leave the business, increasing your turnover levels. Discriminatory practices affect your company's reputation within the community it serves. Disgruntled workers will complain to their family and friends, who may take their business elsewhere. Savvy job seekers will research the company before applying, and a workplace facing several discrimination lawsuits or a company with employees who openly voice their dissatisfaction will have a chilling effect on your recruiting abilities and cause the top candidates in the industry to look elsewhere. Discrimination isn't just a bad practice. It's illegal and covered by extensive federal legislation such as Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, and the Genetic Information and Non-Discrimination Act. Employment law training. If the results of the research analysis show that gender discrimination has occurred, a thorough training course will be developed with the help of Bloom's taxonomy, structure of knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Utilizing this structure will allow for a training program with clear learning objectives that ensure the learner understands the knowledge conveyed, imitates using the knowledge in a classroom setting, can demonstrate that they can use the knowledge in a real-world scenario, and show that they can apply the techniques in developing their own thoughts on the subject matter. The survey. AutoOne surveyed 50 random employees from each of its 20 locations for a total of 1,000 employees and management staff surveyed. Our survey included the following questions that I will cover on the next few slides. Question 1. How would you describe your work environment? Pleasant, it's all right, dislike it. Question 2. Do you believe that gender discrimination is a problem at AutoOne? Yes or no? Have you ever experienced, question 3, have you ever experienced any sort of gender discrimination while employed with AutoOne? Yes or no? Question 4, have you ever witnessed any sort of gender discrimination while employed with AutoOne? Yes or no? Would you come forward if you had experienced any sort of gender discrimination? Yes or no? Survey results. According to the survey of 50 random employees at each of AutoOne's locations, the results are as follows. It seems that the majority of the employees are very pleased with their work environment. 50 of the employees felt that AutoOne was responsible for some gender discrimination, although they have not personally experienced it themselves while employed with AutoOne. 30 employees also have witnessed gender discrimination at one time or another while employed at AutoOne. All employees surveyed said they would come forward if they ever felt they experienced gender discrimination. Summary of our survey. The table before you provides a graphical representation of the survey results. As you can see, the number of respondents that believe they have either witnessed or experienced gender discrimination is very low. 95% do not believe that gender discrimination is a problem at AutoOne. 100% of those surveyed said they had not experienced gender discrimination at AutoOne. And 97% of those surveyed have not witnessed gender discrimination at AutoOne. Data analysis techniques. The research project conducted made use of qualitative and quantitative analysis techniques to review collected data. Qualitative, quantitative, and open-ended questions were used in the process, and they are defined as the following. Qualitative data are measures of types and may be represented by a name, symbol, or a number code. Quantitative data are data about numeric variables. Examples of that are how many, how much, or how often. Open-ended questions are those which require more thought and more than a simple one-word answer. Our survey did not utilize open-ended questions in the data gathering. Recommended action plan. In review of our current position and our current training that is in place, we have decided to develop and implement updated, mandatory diversity and sensitivity training for all levels of management and employees. The training will be based on the Bloom's taxonomy structure of learning and utilize the best practices available in today's environment. Along with the training, we have found that employees lack a dedicated resource for reporting issues anonymously, and a helpline will be created for the employee to call at any time to report any issue as it relates to ethics. We will also ensure our procedures and policies are up to date and speak to the corrective actions taken to prevent any future perceptions of gender discrimination. In summary, AutoOne has acknowledged that a small number of employees felt that gender discrimination was an issue, although none have experienced gender discrimination at AutoOne. To mitigate this issue, AutoOne has created mandatory training for all management level staff and employees on gender discrimination and how to report or deal with it. At no time will AutoOne accept or condone the practice of gender discrimination. To help combat this issue or even the perception of gender discrimination, AutoOne has created a helpline for employees to call should they experience or witness gender discrimination. AutoOne takes this issue very seriously and will respond to all complaints promptly. Questions? Please feel free to forward any questions to AutoOneQuestions@AutoOne.com. Following are the references for the research material that was utilized to create this report.